So leading on from my stablecoin video yesterday, including the US dollar, go back and watch this. The BRICS nations, or the BRICS trading bloc, are about to bring out their own asset-backed currency. And apparently, according to this video, if you go back and watch it, that's going to be, and it's going to be valued at $55 per one BRICS token or BRICS currency, whatever that's going to be. So let that sink in for a second. $55 for $1 of the BRICS currency to trade within that trading bloc. Now, have you considered, when this comes to pass, what that's going to do to the cost of imports for the United States? Where all of a sudden, instead of buying stuff overseas from a position of strength as the world's reserve currency, where, you know, they would always get way more currency in a foreign country because they held the US dollar, which was quite strong. Now, that's being flipped on its head. So now they are importing from a position of weakness rather than strength, where, $1 US is, $55 equals $1 of value within that BRICS sort of trading currency. So that means $55,000 would get like $1,000 worth of value within that trading. Do you understand what that's going to do to inflation that's already running rampant in the US? Now, I've told you in a previous video, the US dollar is going to go to zero because it's backed by nothing but debt. All it is going to take now, all the ducks have been lined up. There's enough nations now that are joining this BRICS sort of trading bloc. And all it's going to take now to crash the US dollar is for them to have, let's say, a little get-together, a little BRICS conference that they get together. All of them decide that they're going to drop the US dollar simultaneously and start to trade in their native currencies between one another within the trading bloc, and at the same time ditch all their US Treasury bonds in one go, bang. That's all it would take, folks, now, and that's going to come crashing down. But I think what you're seeing is a concerted effort. You're witnessing economic warfare that's been going on, and it goes both sides, because when the war in Ukraine broke out, obviously there was sanctions by the West and all that kind of stuff. So it's just sort of, it's a bit more of that. Economic warfare that's going on, designed to drive up inflation from an import perspective. You're going to start to see prices, if this comes to pass, prices go through the flipping roof in America, and you're going to be squeezed more than you're being squeezed. So anyway, just thought I'd bring that to you. You might not be aware of it. Stay blessed, stay safe. Sending you love today. Take care.
The difficulty that countries that want to step away from the dollar face is the following. There aren't any clear alternatives in terms of either payment currencies or in terms of reserve currencies. I'll take those one by one. On the payment currency front, one can well imagine a shift taking place. I refer to China's cross-border interbank payment system, or CIPS. One can well imagine that when China's trading partners have payment systems that reach a similar level of maturity, that you could have even emerging market currency pairs being directly traded for each other, say renminbi versus the rupee, without having to go through an intermediating currency such as the dollar, or for that matter, the euro. You could also have China and Russia trading directly in their pairs of currencies. So new technologies, financial market developments in the emerging market countries are, I think, reducing the need for vehicle currencies.
That because I want there to be a seamless experience. I think one of the questions you're asking about what some of the questions are, many of the credit unions still want to know, do they have our imprimatur at NCUA to embrace fintech technology? Do they have our imprimatur to embrace blockchain, distributed ledger technology, and even engaging in digital assets? And the answer to that is a resounding yes. They have our imprimatur. We've not had to give a rulemaking because our statutes, our legislation and regulations, they currently now allow them to engage in those activities. But as they would with any activity, do it prudently and pragmatically. Are you going through the appropriate due diligence? We as an agency, we were one of the few agencies that really did tell our regulated entities that you are more than welcome when it came to digital assets and blockchain. We gave them supervisory guidance, telling them, look at it as they would with any third party. So we're looking at, are you doing the appropriate vetting, the vendor due diligence? Are you looking at a lot of the other things that you would do if you were really embarking upon any other relationship? And I know our peer regulators have taken a different stance where they're saying, well, we're not going to tell you can do it. You need to ask us for permission, right. and we will give you a letter saying we're not denying it. Mm-hmm. But that type of regulatory uncertainty and regulatory vacuum is what we're trying to prevent at the agency. So I think many of our regulated entities will say that we've been very forthright, been very forward, and I'm very proud that all three board members are so in unison and wanting to embrace the technology. I mean, I really had really great joy when I was able to get all of their support in creating the new office and moving forward with some of the other ideas with the new FinTech director position. So I think the one thing that I hope comes loudly and clearly from our conversation today is that we do not want to stand in your way, provided you're going through the appropriate due diligence, as you would with any third-party vendor, as you would engage with any partnership. I think you need to measure the complexity, measure the risk, as you would with any activity.
That allows fiat on-ramps to distribute blockchain technologies such as Ripple and Stellar and Interledger. This is available via APIs, so developers, I think such as yourselves, can embed it into their applications and allow users to integrate with USD, or we have 8 fiat currencies coming on board and reach different countries, but this basically allows users to interact with your ecosystem. So
U.S. Treasury bonds still safe to invest in?
Very much so. I think this is not an issue of credit rating. The United States can pay any debt it has because we can always print money, 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 because we can always print money.